Chapter 14. Elliot had spent the first half of his morning assuring his mother that she would get to meet his new girlfriend soon, and the other half explaining to Joseph and Mary that he couldn't remove that pillar in the lobby because it was load-bearing and the whole damn roof would come down without it. They were not pleased. And now he was stuffing his face with muffins at the front desk with Jack. Again. Pretty soon his mother would not have to worry about his gauntness at all, because he would have gained 200 pounds from stress and muffins. Except he wasn't actually that stressed about his mother's demands. He was used to those. And he was very used to clients having insane ideas about what was possible for their projects. What he was actually upset about, if he was being honest with himself, was that he hadn't heard from Daisy in days, and now he didn't know where they stood or if they were still doing this whole fake relationship thing, or if she was upset with him for some reason, or if "why don't you just text her?" Jack asked. After Elliot sighed for the 50th time since he'd joined his friend. He had texted her. A very casual, "Hey, everything all right?" Daisy had read it and hadn't answered in 2 days. And for 2 days he'd been wondering why. "I did." She didn't respond. What does that mean? Jack shrugged. "I don't know. That just doesn't seem like a great sign. That's what I'm saying." Daisy's silence had felt like a pretty clear message that this whole little charade was over, and that upset Elliot more than he would care to admit. He certainly wouldn't be admitting it to Jack. "You could ask her in person. I can't just keep going into her shop." Elliot stopped mid-sentence when Jack gestured toward the front doors, where Daisy was juggling several large flower arrangements. They both rushed around the desk to help her. "Thanks," she said as they took the flowers from her. "I thought I could get it in one trip. Probably should have made 2. Make sure Mary sees these. We spoke on the phone, but she wanted me to do a trial run." She was speaking mainly to Jack, and Elliot could see the moment she realized she should acknowledge him, that as his girlfriend she would definitely acknowledge him. "Elliot," she hesitated and then wrapped him in an awkward hug. Especially awkward because he still held a large flower arrangement in one hand. "I'm so glad to see you. Sweetie? Sweetie? Right, me too, honey." He could hear Jack snickering behind him. "I thought of you while I made these arrangements," Daisy said. Her voice was far too loud for the quiet lobby. "I think they came out really romantic." A couple seated by the fireplace glanced in their direction, confused by the volume of Daisy's voice. "What are you doing?" Elliot whispered. "Just play along," Daisy hissed back. "Jack already knows." She pulled away suddenly, leaving Elliot regretting mentioning that fact. If he hadn't, they might still be hugging. "He does?" "Yep," Jack said with a smug smile. "But you were very convincing, sweetie." "Oh, shut up. I thought we decided on no pet names," Elliot said, still reeling from the feel of Daisy pressed up against him. "You told Jack. Well, you told Iris. I will take it to my grave," Jack called as he placed one of the arrangements on the mantel. He smiled at the confused guests. "We're just working on a little play." Daisy squeezed her eyes shut like she was regrouping. "Okay, that's okay as long as no one else knows." Gabe appeared from the second-floor guest rooms, pausing halfway down the stairs. "Hey Jack, could you come up here a minute? We have an issue in one of the rooms. Looks like we might need to get a plumber out." "Oh, of course." Jack smoothed down his pastel plaid vest and went to follow Gabe, but not before glancing over his shoulder at Elliot. His smile was a mix of excitement and terror at being alone with Gabe, or maybe at whatever plumbing issue he was about to find. Elliot gave him a thumbs up for encouragement. By the time the 2 men had climbed the stairs, Daisy had pulled herself together and had a new look of determination on her face. "I think we need to go on some dates, to be more convincing," she whispered, glancing over at the couple by the fire who no longer seemed to have any interest in them. Daisy tugged him by the arm back to the front desk anyway. "We need to be seen together. Okay? What did you have in mind?" "Well, we're still on for Beltane, right? Wouldn't miss it." Daisy tapped a finger against her lips as she thought. "I guess I haven't actually dated in a while." "What did you used to do with David?" Her frown made him sorry he'd asked. Mostly whatever he wanted to do, which toward the end wasn't much. Probably should have been a red flag. One of many. "Right, I forgot David's an idiot." Elliot's new favorite thing. The way her frown slowly morphed into a smile was, "What's your perfect day out?" he asked, eager to get this conversation on track. If he was going to fake date this woman, he was going to do it properly. No more bringing up her exes. "My perfect day out?" She tucked her hair behind her ear as she thought about it. Her hands were half covered by the sleeves of her black sweater today. It was oversized and made her look smaller than usual. Yeah, what would you choose to do? And then I'll just come with you and make hard eyes at you the whole time. Daisy laughed, but Elliot knew it would be far too easy to follow her around and pretend he was in love with her. He was a hopeless fool. I guess we could. Go wander around the bookstore? There was hesitation in her voice, like she'd suggested this idea before and been shot down. If you think I'm going to be scared away by books, you are very wrong. I forgot who I was talking to, she said with a teasing smile. I'd be happy to carry your books, he added. Her gaze caught his, and for a split second he thought maybe he saw something there that wasn't fake, that maybe in another life, one in which they hadn't had their hearts so thoroughly broken, he and Daisy could be something real. And then grab some takeout from Max and bring it to the beach for a picnic. Sounds perfect. We could go on Saturday when a lot of people will be out, plenty of exposure. Right, plenty of exposure for their fake date. Because as much as he liked Daisy, neither of them were ready for the real thing. And it will be good practice for you, she said, turning away and grabbing a muffin from the basket. Please don't start talking about riding bikes again, Daisy giggled. Okay, I do really appreciate you doing this for me. I know it's silly, but I am hoping it helps. My grandmother says it's all just marketing. I'm happy to be a marketing ploy, but you will have to meet my mom someday, and then we'll be even. Deal? Daisy stuck out her free hand and they shook on it. Can I ask you something? If it's about my past relationships, then no. I think we've covered all that. I'm just wondering, why all the black? Daisy laughed. Oh, that. Do you not like it? Like it. It suits you. And my depressing personality? No, it brings out your eyes. My eyes? She stopped in her tracks on her way to throw out her muffin wrapper and turned back to face him. Yeah. They're this unique amber color. And something about the lightness of your eyes compared to the darkness of your clothes just makes them pop. Time thinking about my eyes. She was smiling at him now. Elliot, you've spent a lot of. He could feel his face flushing. Not that much time. Her smile grew. Okay? It's really just that one observation. She raised an eyebrow like she didn't believe him, but she at least answered his question. My mom used to love dressing me in these frilly dresses when I was little. Usually bright yellow or bubblegum pink or baby blue. It was a lot. Add that to my name and I used to get teased. Teased for wearing bright colors and being named. Daisy Elliott was incredulous. For being a flower. Wow, yeah, kids are the worst. And wildly uncreative in their insults. Anyway, in 4th grade I demanded to pick out all my own clothes, and I chose all black. I tried to change my name too, but it didn't stick. To what? Daisy rolled her eyes like she didn't want to say. Jade. He couldn't help his grin. You thought Jade was a better name than Daisy. She was picking at the sleeves of her sweater, but she answered him from behind a curtain of hair. Cooler, yes. Elliot inched closer, nudging her shoulder with his. For what it's worth, I think you're cool. Well, you're a giant nerd, so I'm not sure that means a whole lot. She glanced at him with a mischievous smirk and he laughed. Wow, harsh anyway. I'm not going to stop now. I like black, it's very versatile. And it brings out my eyes, she teased, batting her eyelashes. Remind me not to compliment you anymore, he grumbled, but was secretly delighted that she was smiling again. No way. I like compliments and I like watching you. Turn pink, she booped the tip of his nose and laughed. What's so funny? Jack asked, returning from his errand alone. Elliot's ability to change colors, Daisy said, grinning at him. And Daisy's resistance to wearing any, Elliot shot back, and Daisy feigned offense, slapping a hand to her chest as she gasped dramatically. Jack's gaze flicked between them. You two have a weird way of flirting. We're not flirting, Daisy said, a bit quicker than Elliot would have liked. We're practicing. Right, Jack said with his own little smirk. I know how this movie ends. How are things with Gabe? Elliot asked, derailing whatever Jack was going to say about fake relationships always ending in real ones. At least on the Hallmark Channel. Big development. He asked if I was going to Beltane and I said yes, and he said great, I'll see you there. Oh, that's great? Did that mean Gabe had asked him out or just compared plans? Maybe Elliot did need to practice. Daisy smacked his arm like he should understand just how big this news was. It's really great, Jack. You know how things get at Beltane? I know, Jack practically squealed. How do things get? You guys are making me nervous, Now she was the one turning pink. It's just. Daisy trailed off, no longer meeting Elliot. It's when everyone hooks up, Jack supplied gleefully. Hooks up? What is this, some kind of pagan orgy? Daisy spewed muffin crumbs from her mouth while Jack burst out laughing. Calm down, Grandma, he said. If you had pearls, you'd be clutching them right now. I wouldn't, Elliot huffed. I just thought this was like a family affair. A wholesome dream harbor event, not some kind of pagan orgy, Daisy said, barely holding in her laughter, one arm wrapped around her middle and the other wiping muffin crumbs from her lips. Right. Elliot felt lightheaded. It is a family affair. Very wholesome. During the day, Jack grinned. After dark, things get a little wild. He waggled his eyebrows suggestively. It's why we have so many January babies in Dream Harbor, 9 months after Beltane, Daisy added with a shrug, like this was all perfectly normal. Wow. But don't worry, Elliot, Daisy said, patting him on the back. All you have to do is be my date, hold my hand and hang out with me. I'm not expecting you to knock me up or anything. Elliot swallowed hard. Daisy grinned and ran a finger over the rim of his ear. Pink again, she whispered before turning to leave. Have to get back to the shop. Thanks for the business opportunity, Jack. Bye, Daisy. Jack called as Elliot stood there watching her go, wondering what he'd gotten himself into. Whatever it was, he was having a hard time regretting it.